Hello, Rahul. How you doing?
I'm good, James. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Obviously, we're here to talk about Like a Dragon Ishin,
hmm
which is very exciting. I understand you're quite a Yakuza fan.
Yeah, I'm still playing through the series, but I made a dent in it when I was in quarantine up in Canada between shows. And I they were on Xbox Game Pass, and I had my Xbox with me, so it seemed like a good time to jump into it because the series was kind of recommended to me by a lot of friends.
Mm.
And I kind of fell in love with it, and um, kind of as I've done in the past, I tend to just document what I play through social media, and through that the community were obviously pretty stoked to have someone new join the Yakuza Like a Dragon series. And yeah, and then through that RGG reached out and asked me to help out with the launch trailer for Ishin.
I had a similar kind of thing with the Yakuza series that again, Game Pass, and that's pretty
Yeah,
much my like main introduction to it. I don't know if you played the original version of Ishin before.
no, I haven't.
Okay,
No.
same on that
Yeah,
front.
yeah. I think that's
But
pretty
it,
common. I know a lot of people were hope that's why this has happened. The community wanted a Western port.
Absolutely. And like there's
Mm.
also this idea about the idea of sort of remaking older games from the series or porting them anyway,
Mhm.
which is very popular. What is it about this game that appeals to you the most? This specific one, Ishin.
I think it's just so out of left field, really. I know that it was quite well received anyway when it originally came out, but um, it not really following any kind of linear. It exists in its own world, and the setting just kind of lends itself to that. Really, like being a period piece, but still having Kiro-chan's likeness and everyone else, and and also I think people are always constantly just like jonesing for more content from that series. I know that there's a zombie title as well that now the community are being like, "Hey, can we get the port of the zombie version of Yakuza?"
Yeah, Dead
Uh,
Souls, I think that one
that's
might
it.
be.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
That's yeah, but to be fair, I mean, I'm kind of the same with this one. It looks like a fantastic period drama, but
yeah,
with the Yakuza style. So it sounds perfect.
yeah. And I
Um,
think also with like uh things obviously come and go. It's just like the film industry where there are certain trends, or and it feels like at the moment with things like Sekiro and with Ghost of Tsushima, that period setting seems to have a bit of a resurgence right now, and Ishin absolutely is coming in at the right time for that.
we're on course to get another Kiryu title later this
Mm-hmm.
year. How do you feel about that?
I mean, for me, it just contributes to the backlog. So while I'm excited, it just means that's another another one that goes right on the end of that, because I'm only kind of halfway through my Yakuza playthrough. I've still got Like a Dragon, obviously the new ones. Ishin will obviously jump straight into that, being that I'm in it to a certain degree, and then I still want to play through Judgment one and two. I mean, I've got a lot to go to. So as excited as I am that everyone's getting more Kiru content, I probably get around to it in 2025. I'll let you know how I feel about it then.
You see, I had a similar thing where like I finally beat the last one of the games I hadn't played at the end of last year, and I
Yeah.
just had a sort of minute of like, what do I do now? I've done them all. Um, One thing though, a lot of people have said about Yakuza is they would love to see like a TV show spin-off. How
Right.
would you feel about seeing like a sort of TV serial based on the games?
I mean, I'd always welcome adaptations. I think there's like, we've just had The Last of Us, and by all accounts, it's a massive success. That does tend to be the outlier when it comes to video game adaptations. They usually aren't as great as the games, but I think there should always be the opportunity to have a stab at it. And if someone feels like they can, I mean, it does lend itself to that to a certain degree. The biggest appeal for me with Yakuza and Like a Dragon is the drama. It's the soap opera. I mean,
Mm.
I love the combat, and that's what keeps me coming back. But to be fair, the reason I'm playing through and making sure all 60, 70 hours are done, it's the narrative, it's the drama, it's the story. It's definitely got a soap opera feel to it. But I know there's a live action movie out anyway. And I think that's supposed to be pretty good. I haven't watched it myself, but that's definitely one I wanted to check out because I didn't really hear terrible things about it.
What does it mean to you to actually be in the game now?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy because the way it came about, I did the trailer for Ishin, the announcement, and then a few weeks later, RGG reached out and Sega and asked if it was okay to use my likeness, if I would like to be in the game as this trooper card. And I've done a fair amount of video game work, and there's been some real kind of pinch yourself moments, but ultimately I'm still a character. I'm still lending my voice to something, working on something, playing someone's character. It's the first time in my career where the card name is Rahul Kohli. I am me, I guess. It's my likeness with my name inside a game, inside a pop culture reference, and one that happens to be Yakuza. I mean, like a dragon. It's definitely one of those, like, remember this moment when you're a pop culture reference, albeit a small one. I'm sure like 5 people will care, but at the same, it was just like that. Even that, like explaining that to my mum, even she kind of understood that was different to, like, as cool as it is to be like, yeah, I'm that character, yeah, I voiced this guy, to be like, no, it's my name, it's the Royal Kohli Trooper card. I think even they kind of understood that. They were like, wow, okay, that's another kind of tier to reach.
You know, you've been a part of a few games over the years. Are there any series out there that you really want to be a part of that you haven't already?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of friends, and I'm a big fan of a lot of their work, and I mean, they're I'd go by studio, to be honest. Obviously, Sony Santa Monica is fantastic, and Naughty Dog, and I'd also love the opportunity to work with Rockstar. Red Dead is probably my favorite series ever. I'm a big Doom fan. Just even if I got to scream as a demon in a Doom game or something like that, I'd be pretty happy. What's kind of happened for me though is in the past, screen has always kind of stopped me from going harder in the game world. I'm a screen actor predominantly, but cool. But mocap and pcap, they're things that have been presented to me where I've been very close to doing and agreed, and then we've ran into issues where I can't do it because of facial hair and commitments to other shows, and being able to be shaved and having the dots on me has just been a no-go. So ultimately that's something that I'd want to follow through on, because I've not been able to. I've tested for it and mucked around with mocap and really enjoyed the experience, but I've never been able to commit to it. So I'm hoping we can get around the beard and do something properly.
So, taking away the mocap idea, then, what if you were to adapt any game of your choice into a series or movie?
You know what? A few years back, I tweeted that, and it's already happening, but in a different way. I had tweeted that I wanted Mike Flanagan to tackle BioShock. But that, when I said that, was already being done behind the scenes. I always have a way of stepping on a mine, and people are like, "Dude, no, we're already doing something else." But there's a few. I've always felt that there was a world in which Doom could be done properly. I really do. I just want to hack it, and I have a few friends who have tried, and there is a way to do a kick-ass 90-minute Hardcore Henry, I think that's the title. There's a way to hack that and get that working and just make the most badass action movie. But Red Dead's another one. I think I'm such a big fan of the genre, and spaghetti westerns mean so much to me. There's a show in there somewhere, John Marston or someone. That would probably be something I'd be down to watch.
I could see you as a John Marston, you know. I think you've definitely got that kind of way of presenting yourself.
If we're allowed to skewer timelines and we don't, we can start having British Asians in westerns in the 1800s, then yeah, I'm in.
It's our movie. We do what we want.
Exactly, we do what we want. Yeah, for sure.
So going back to Yakuza, I
Mhm.
just wanted to know, have you ever been tempted to sing a Yakuza karaoke song?
I already have. I
Really?
already have. Oh yeah, Buck. We always look for Buck and Matai when we go to karaoke room. What I've ended up doing is usually at the karaoke spots we go to, you get two mics, right? So you can duet. I'll blast the YouTube karaoke through one mic, um, and sing on the other because it's one of my favorite songs ever. So yeah, that's how we do it. It sounds terrible, obviously, but we did just find this karaoke spot that basically doesn't have a catalog. It's hooked up in a way that you use YouTube. So you search the karaoke version of whatever it is that exists, and that's how you sing along. So we're going there next, and then I can do it properly through the sound system.
Oh, perfect. I think we all need to see that somehow.
I'm sure it'll pop up on someone's TikTok or something. Yeah.
So you mentioned a few games that you love, just to kind of like, bring things to a close.
Hmm.
Do you have I know it's a really hard question, but do you have like an all-time favorite game
Yeah.
above everything
He's
else?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I say that and then there'll still be like three or four. Is usually what happens, but obviously Red Dead means a lot to me, the first one. But as a kid in year 7 or 8, or however old I was, GoldenEye was a big game changer. Um, as was Ocarina of Time. I feel like a lot of people of our generation speak to those two games. And Doom 93 was a big one for me. And Knights of the Old Republic, I think Knights of the Old Republic might be number one or two. That game just blew my mind. It was one of the first times I really committed as well to a game where it was turn-based combat to a certain degree, which was off-putting at the time. As some, I choose in advance, but
Yeah.
at that point, I think when I had played Knights of the Republic, it felt like arguably one of the best Star Wars stories I'd ever played, and or read or been or had or followed along with. I was reading EU books. Obviously, I was a big fan of the movies, any type of content. Jedi Outcast. I was playing all the games, and then Knights of the Republic came along and did something that I felt was just up there with the best of the films.
Well, amazing. Thank you so much. That's
Hey, thanks for your time, James.
yeah, thank you.